And this is chapter 22 of Pinocchio. Pinocchio discovers the robbers. Pinocchio discovers the robbers, and as a reward for his fidelity, is set at liberty. He has been sleeping heavily for about 2 hours when towards midnight he is aroused by a whispering of strange voices that seem to come from the courtyard. Putting the point of his nose out of the kennel, he sees 4 little beasts with dark fur that look like cats, standing consulting together. But they are not cats, they are polecats, carnivorous little animals, especially greedy for eggs and young chickens. One of the polecats, leaving his companions, comes to the opening of the kennel and says in a low voice, "Good evening, Melampo. My name is not Melampo," answers the puppet. "Oh, then who are you?" "I'm Pinocchio." "And what are you doing here?" "I'm acting as watchdog." "Then where is Melampo?" "Where is the old dog who lives in this kennel?" "He died this morning." אוקיי, אוצר מילים. Robber זה שודד. A reward זה תגמול. Fidelity זה נאמנות. Liberty זה חופש, חירות. Midnight זה חצות. To rouse זה לעורר. To whisper זה ללחוש. Strange זה מוזר. Courtyard זה חצר. Court זה גם חצר וזה גם בית משפט, יש לזה 2 משמעויות, אבל פה בטקסט הזה זה חצר. Yard זה גם, זה חצר. Kennel זה מלונה. Beast זה חיה. Fur זה פרווה. To consult זה להתייעץ. Polecats זה בואש, זה סוג של חיה. Carnivorous זה טורף. Greedy זה חמדן. To die זה למות. Companion זה חבר. Opening זה פתח. Animal זה חיה, בעל חיים. Puppet זה בובה. Watchdog זה כלב שמירה. Is he dead? Poor beast, he was so good, but judging you by your face, I should say that you're also a good dog. I beg your pardon, I'm not a dog. Not a dog, then what are you? I'm a puppet. And you're acting as watchdog? That is only too true as a punishment. Well then, I will offer you the same conditions that we made with the deceased Melampo, and I'm sure you will be satisfied with them. What are these conditions? One night in every week you are to permit us to visit the poultry yard, as we have hitherto done, and to carry off 8 chickens. Of these chickens, 7 are to be eaten by us, and 1 we will give to you, on the express understanding, however, that you pretend to be asleep, and that it never enters your head to bark and to waken the peasant. Did Melampo act in this manner? Asks Pinocchio. Certainly, and we were always on the best terms with him. Sleep quietly and rest assured that before we go, we will leave by the kennel a beautiful chicken ready plucked for your breakfast tomorrow. Have we understood each other clearly? To judge זה לשפוט. Pardon זה סליחה. Punishment זה עונש. Deceased זה מנוח. Condition זה תנאי. To permit זה לאפשר, להתיר. Poultry yard זה חצר עופות. Hitherto זה עד כה. To carry off זה לסחוב. Express זה מפורש. Understanding זה הבנה. To pretend זה להעמיד פנים. To bark זה לנבוח. To waken זה להעיר. Peasant זה עיקר. Manner זה באופן או בצורה. To pluck זה למרות את הנוצות. Ready pluck זה ללא נוצות. To rest זה לסמוך, להישאר. Assured זה סמוך ובטוח. To assure זה להבטיח. On the best terms זה בתנאים הכי טובים. בתנאים הטובים ביותר. Only too clearly, answers Pinocchio, and he shakes his head threateningly, as much as to say, you shall hear of this shortly. The four polecats, thinking themselves safe, repaired to the poultry yard, which is close to the kennel, and having opened the wooden gates with their teeth and claws, they slipped in one by one, but they only just pass through when they hear the gate shut behind them with great violence. It is Pinocchio who shuts it, and for greater security he puts a large stone against it to keep it closed. He then begins to bark, and he barks exactly like a watchdog. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hearing the barking, the peasant jumps out of the bed, and taking his gun, he comes to the window and asks, "What is the matter?" "There are robbers," answers Pinocchio. "Where are they?" "In the poultry yard." "I will come down directly." In fact, in less time than it takes to say Amen, the peasant comes down, he rushes into the poultry yard, catches the polecats, and having put them into a sack, he says to them in a tone of great satisfaction, "At last you have fallen into my hands. I might punish you, but I am not so cruel. I will content myself instead by carrying you in the morning to the innkeeper of the neighboring village, who will skin and cook you as hares with a sweet and sour sauce. It is an honor that you don't deserve, but generous people like me don't consider such trifles." New words. To repair זה ללכת. repair יש לזה שתי משמעויות, לתקן, אבל פה במקרה הזה זה ללכת. They repair to the poultry yard, זה אומר שהם הלכו לחצר עופות. To shake זה להניד, לנענע. To slip זה לחמוק, להחליק. To pass through זה לעבור. To bark זה לנבוח. Peasant זה עיקר. Hair זה ארנב. Sauce זה רוטב. To rush זה למהר. Cruel זה אכזרי. To content זה להסתפק. Innkeeper זה פונדקאי. Village זה כפר. To skin זה לקלף, לפשוט עור. Generous זה נדיב. Trifles זה זוטות. He then approaches Pinocchio and begins to caress him, and amongst other things he asks him, "How did you manage to discover the four thieves? To think that Melampo, my faithful Melampo, never found out anything." The puppet might then have told him the whole story. He might have informed him of the disgraceful conditions that had been made between the dog and the polecats. But he remembers that the dog is dead, and he thinks to himself, what is the good of accusing the dead? The dead are dead, and the best thing to be done is to leave them in peace. When the thieves got into the yard, "Were you asleep or awake?" the peasant goes on to ask him. "I was asleep," answers Pinocchio, "but the polecats woke me with their chatter, and one of them came to the kennel and said to me, 'If you promise not to bark and not to wake the master, we will make you a present of a fine chicken ready plucked.' To think that they should have the audacity to make such a proposal to me. For although I am a puppet possessing perhaps nearly all the faults in the world, there is one that I certainly will never be guilty of, that of making terms with and sharing the gains of dishonest people." "Well said, my boy," cries the peasant, slapping him on the shoulder. "Such sentiments do you honor. And as a proof of my gratitude, I will at once set you at liberty, and you may return home." And he removes the dog collar. To caress, ללטף, amongst the bane, to manage, זה להצליח, thief זה גנב, disgraceful זה מביש. To accuse זה להאשים, yard זה חצר, asleep זה ישן, awake זה ער, chatter זה פטפוט. To possess זה להחזיק או להיות בעלים של, master זה אדון. To pluck זה למרות נוצות, audacity זה חוצפה, fault זה אשם, טעות. dishonest זה לא ישר, to slap זה לסתור, להחטיף או לטפוח. sentiment זה רגש, gratitude זה הכרת תודה, liberty זה חירות, to remove זה להסיר, dog collar זה קולר לכלב. קולר לכלב. And זה הסוף של פרק 22. That's the end of chapter 22.